Welcome to Robertland, your favorite not safe for work fast food comedy podcast. What is up, Rossco Soletrain?
Yo, Robert, how you doing, brother?
Good, man.
Sick.
This is probably my favorite subject ever.
Is it really?
Baby.
Dead?
I'm a bit
Dead shit?
Dead shit, dude. But we're going to talk all about another dead restaurant, fast food.
Not even just one.
Two.
We're talking about two. We're doing an echo. We're doing the netherworld version, or what's the upside down version of Del Taco and Taco Bell. Today we are doing
Pup and Taco.
Yeah.
And Noggles.
Naugles, yeah. I don't know if anybody's going to remember any of these things.
Someone will.
I had no idea what these things were until people clued me in. People that were in the know.
Yeah, you got to be in a certain age bracket at this point to have know what that is.
To experience Noggles and Puppet Taco.
Yeah, and I'm so curious what you've gathered because
oh boy.
Like you said, it's like the flip side of Taco Bell and Del Taco.
Yeah. And we'll get to that.
Yeah.
But before we do any of that, we got to get to my favorite segment.
Your favorite segment.
Theme Park Minute with
Fast Food Hillman.
Oh my God. Fast Hillman, dude. Zach Savage Lemons.
It is David Mashawati.
Fred Mashawati.
Fred Mashawati, yeah.
Fred. This one goes out to you, Fred.
Shout out to Fred. But right now we're going to...
Fred's probably dead by now.
Is he?
I don't know.
Is he as old as Pup and Taco and Noggles?
He's old. He was older, dude.
Dang.
Yeah, man.
Whoa.
They're not that old.
Snap, man.
Yeah.
So was he around when White Castle opened?
He was around when Zach Hillman was conceived.
Okay, well, speaking of Zach Hillman, we're going to go to my favorite segment.
Your favorite segment.
A Fast Food Minute with Zach Hillman. Enjoy.
This is Fast Food Minute with Zach Hillman. Customer David Scheiding was powering his way through an Arby's chicken sandwich in 2005 when he found a juicy piece of human flesh. Apparently, a manager cut his thumb on the meat slicer and neglected to throw out the bin containing his parts. He got even more depressed when he was unable to hitchhike home that night. Scheiding sued the company for $50,000, claiming they had no right to serve me something that tastes so much better than their actual food.
Boy, that was so insightful and hilarious as usual.
Zach is great, dude. That was amazing.
Yeah, Zach Attack, or as you said in a previous episode, Sack Attack.
Sack Attack.
Oh, you'd like a Sack Attack
from
Zach. Yeah,
Zach,
and
the Hillman.
And he's got a child, so he definitely has some potent.
Yeah, dude, he's got some potent sack.
To attack.
Or he's got potent sacks.
Yeah,
I don't know if he might have two ball sacks just because he's so powerful and potent.
Do you think there's some German saxophone player that plays
has four balls?
Yeah,
you never heard of that guy?
No,
German sax four ball. You never?
No, dude.
Really, it's crazy. They always said his name was two on the nose. Two on the hammer.
I think that guy was in a film I saw. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It was the Guinness Book of World Record.
Oh no
porno.
shit.
Yeah,
dude, was it with Ramon?
It wasn't with Ramon, our friend.
Friend of the show. He was Ramon.
But speaking of things from our past, from our culture.
Speaking of hot dogs.
Yeah, dude.
Fuck it, man. Let's just get right into this bitch.
Let's do it.
So this episode, Robert, we're talking about two fast food joints from the Southern California region of the United States of America, Pup and Taco and Noggles. Now, you've been to Noggles, correct?
I haven't been to Noggles. I've been by a Noggles.
Oh, okay.
But Noggles was the one I'd heard of before.
Yeah, man, because one day you looked at me and you're all, Noggles, and I was like, what the fuck is that?
Sounds like a British sex move, right?
You totally said that to me, too. You're like, Noggles. No idea. I'm
yeah.
What the fuck?
Well,
but now I do. Now I know a lot.
Yeah. So, and you know more than I do at this point. So I want to hear all about.
Well, and we were, like we said earlier in the beginning of this podcast, we were talking about how we did an episode about Del Taco and Taco Bell, which are also two California-based fast food chains. Pup and Taco and Noggles both got bought out by both Taco Bell and Del Taco. And there's weird other California-based fast food or fast casual restaurants that are going to be mentioned in this podcast that are kind of strange that I had no idea. In fact, I did a deep dive on both these places. I'm trying to stay away from Wikipedia just because it's just... I was finding myself just cutting and pasting things, and it just doesn't feel like... It doesn't feel right. I feel like I should do a better job of researching these places. So for the earlier episodes of the Robertland Podcast, I will go ahead and apologize for some of the... I mean, we don't ever get it right completely, but I apologize for some of the lack of research that I put into these things because I actually really do care, and I want them to be, these podcasts to be as informative as possible. Now, granted, like I said earlier, I don't get everything right all the time. I fuck things up, but I want to give you guys some context of why these things are so cool and why we actually care, and it's fun.
Yeah, it is. It's very fun to dig up this stuff.
History is interesting. Yeah,
it is,
and we're digging it up because they're dead.
Yeah.
So let's just start with Pup and Taco. All right. So Russ Wendell, a donut equipment salesman, got into the restaurant business by opening up a chain of 10 donut shops in Southern California called Giant Donut. If you know what Giant Donut is, or if you don't know what it is, you guys know about the donut shop next to LAX. What's that called?
Randy's.
So Randy's took over for the Giant Donuts. Not all the Giant Donuts, but that Giant Donut was originally owned by Russ Wendell, who started Pup and Taco.
Whoa. Wow.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
At first, during the 50s, he wanted to do a giant taco, so he started experimenting with hot dogs and tacos in 1956. He opened up a drive-in restaurant that served both of these items. And I couldn't really find out what the name of that first restaurant was, but regardless, the first officially branded Pup and Taco was opened in Pasadena in 1965.
Dang.
So it's not crazy old when compared to like a lot of the other fast food restaurants in this area, but still 65 is when it started. The menu consisted of tacos, tostadas, pastrami sandwiches, burgers, several varieties of hot dogs and French fries. Their beverages included sodas and a variety of flavored slushies. At their peak, they had over 100 stores across Southern California, Albuquerque, and Denver. And apparently, I found a couple of message boards and things where fans of Pup and Taco were going to like say shit. And apparently, like, their slushies were super bomb. They had like cherry and grape and things like that. But they had a specific machine that was just slushies.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, just what you said right now is like kind of an amazing variety of stuff.
It's so Southern California. Pastrami tacos. It's just think about how many like restaurants around here just kind of copied that. How many times you see on a old A-frame building around here it says pastrami tacos?
Oh, countless. There's a lot.
Yeah. It's fucking awesome. It's like the best thing about L.A.
Yeah.
You can get a pastrami sandwich
taco.
and a pastrami taco. Yeah, you can get a pastrami taco. Those are good.
I've seen Chinese food, donuts, and cheeseburgers in the same place.
I mean, there's a Chinese food restaurant down the street here called OK Chinese Food. It's
That's
great,
pretty
dude.
amazing.
It's fucking
tongue
awesome.
in cheek. So if it's better, then you're like, whoa, it's not okay. It's good.
Yeah. I had a friend of mine up north who was like, oh, yeah, I was in your neighborhood. I was like, oh, shit, what'd you do? He's like, we went to OK Chinese Food. I was like, why in the fuck would, out of all the places you would go in Eagle Rock, like, why would you go to OK Chinese Food? He's like, 'cause it's funny. I'm like, all right, it is funny. Okay, so as far as Pup and Taco goes, Johnny Carson used to make jokes about it all the time during his monologues for years.
Oh, Pup and Taco.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. It's fucking weird. Chevy Chase and Fletch mentions Pup and Taco to a Hispanic maid mocking her Spanish, and he says something like, "Buenos dias, Pup and Taco."
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
Of course, yeah.
And also in the I didn't see this movie, but in the 2010 movie The Runaways, the movie about Joan Jett. There's a scene where Dakota Fanning's character mentions that she doesn't want to run or doesn't want to work at Pup and Fries her entire life, and it shows an old Pup and Taco, but it's called Pup and Fries. Same colors, same everything.
Whoa.
Yeah. So that's pretty cool. So it was Pup and Taco was a family-run business with Russ's brother, Russ's son, and some of the grandchildren worked to the chain all the way to the end. He opened 99 stores, and he opened over 100 stores, but 99 of them were bought by Taco Bell in '84. Effectively, it just ended the history of the chain. So operations in Albuquerque were not included in the deal, and the two existed till about 2011 as Pop and Taco. It's weird how like Taco Bell bought Pup and Taco, considering that Glenn Bell was instrumental in opening up Wiener Schnitzel.
That's strange. Yeah.
But they closed them right away. They just bought them for the real estate.
So they didn't really.
Weird.
Yeah.
It's weird how like there's there's all these people are kind of like they all knew each other. Not all of them, but a lot of them. There's like weird crossovers. So I found this great website that's run by the grandson of Russ, the founder of Pup and Taco. I really couldn't find a ton of stuff other than like this like super like positive Like just everywhere I would look was just reviews of Pup and Taco and how great they were, and how people wanted recipes, and I couldn't find like much history or anything really about like that went too deep. It just seemed like for everybody, I'm sure there's people that weren't, but I'm sure it just seems like for everybody it was a really positive working experience. But I found this post that I wanted to read. And it's this guy Stephen Ferracioli. Probably butchered that, but what are you gonna do? I used to work at Pup and Taco number 67 in North Long Beach from September 1974 until February 1978. It was my first job when I was 15 and a half years old. I have some great memories, and I remember a lot of the terminology, like scrubbing the red. That means you had to go outside and scrub the red concrete patios before closing. Beating the meat. Ground beef came in long tubes, and it had to be mashed with a 2-foot-long masher. Studying the steam table. The steam table was the most important position because it set the pace, and you had to be good to work there. Drop 10. Cook 10 pounds of ground beef. And they referred to all their late night customers as stoners.
Really?
Yeah.
So that's like backstage terminology.
Yeah.
Beating the meat.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. It says, I remember Russ, your dad, because it's the son of the guy who runs Pup and Taco, or who ran Pup and Taco. I remember Russ, your dad, and your uncle. My sister also worked there. They had a good assembly line type process. It truly was fast food made to order. We were proud of consistently keeping our 4 orders on the boards at all times and cranking cars through every 20 to 30 seconds. I learned my first rule of business at P&T, which was never to make anyone wait to give you their money. So there you go. Yeah.
They had a good 15, 20 years maybe.
It was 72 or what was it? 65.
65.
Well, it says 60. Yeah, 65 to 84.
That's a pretty good chunk of having all those restaurants.
Yeah, it was over 100 restaurants.
Yeah.
So I would say that's a pretty good run.
Yeah.
It's a nice little boop, 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 boop.
I wonder, like, because it was in the zeitgeist, and most people we know, I mean, us included, wouldn't know what the fuck it is, and I think it's just so. And yeah, wow. So they that menu is gnarly too. Do you know if there was any change? I know it's sparse, the information that you have, but do you think there was a lot of menu change throughout that, or do you think it was? Do you think having that much stuff is what, like, kind of? Because I feel like a lot of fast food places start off really basic and then expand.
I'm sure that there was a lot of you go to a lot of these places now and they'll have like the pastrami burger, so I'm sure there was like all these there was so many menu items that use the same core ingredients.
Gotcha. Yeah.
I know that like in the world of Noggles, there was we'll get into it, but there was a dual kitchen where there was the Spanish side and then there was the American side.
Oh.
And really all it was is they were pulling from the same ingredients, but they were just using different things like buns or taco shells, like depending on what side you were on. So that was like something that Dick Noggle was big into, was like going there. But we'll talk about Noggles. Yeah, Pup and Taco just seems like everybody really loved it. There's nothing there's no like weird scandals, no like odd shit. It just seemed like a very pleasant experience. It's strange. Yeah. Because normally when we look these places up, there's like some fucking skeletons that you'll find.
Yeah, like they were on Epstein Island or something.
Something weird. Yeah, like it's something. Or just like it's like rooted in weirdness. There's a lot of places just rooted in fucking weirdness. But for whatever reason, Pup and Taco, kind of like the Hat. The Hat just seems like it runs as like this, oh yeah, it's like our family did it, and like we bought it at this point in time, and we've been doing it ever since, and we really enjoy it. It's kind of seems like the same kind of thing with Pup and Taco. They just got bought out by Taco Bell is the only difference.
That's crazy because I feel like they were doing it right then. If they had that much, you know what I mean? Like even though they sold it, it felt like they were running it well.
Sure.
Until it was sold.
Well, also like you got to think like a lot of these people just want to retire, or they get to a certain point where it's like your business model is to sell your business.
I was just talking about this with my dad because my dad is getting older, and there's a lot of places that we've grown up going to. And one of Donahue's, that chicken place in Pomona has been there a long time. I remember I went there 10 years ago. The 90-year-old man that was working it, that's the family that owned it forever. He's using like a typewriter, like a type.
Fuck it.
Yeah, cashier. He had all this old school stuff. but they just sold that to another family. And you think about it, and it's like his kids didn't really want to run a business. Well, you forget that it could just happen that way.
I mean, the thing is, though, is like running a business like that, you're going to be there from anywhere from 12 to 20 hours a day to make it run correctly. So that's a tall order and especially that if you've grown up in that environment, a lot of times you just don't want to take over your family's business.
Yes, and these are circumstances like I forget. You could forget sometimes because you're like, wait, why isn't this a thing anymore? And you're like, oh yeah, there's just, maybe that's not in the future for that family.
But if it sells to the right person, it's going to run the same way.
True. Yeah.
A lot of times, like places will just sell to the next generation. The hat, for instance, going right back to that.
Yeah.
Like, that was not the original owners. They bought it in 82 or something.
Yeah.
And when you listen to those people talk about the hat, because it's a family, they talk about it like they came up with everything.
True. Yeah.
But maybe the hat wouldn't be around if it was run by somebody else. It's really hard to say.
Yeah.
Or Tommy's.
Yeah.
Which Tommy should be shut down. Be honest.
Speak of the devil.
Yeah. Oh my God! I took a picture of this Tommy sign that's on your way to the Oinkster. This giant Tommy's billboard, and it's like Tommy's does breakfast. Oh. It's the nastiest sign ever. It sticks out like a sore thumb.
Yeah, it looked like the breakfast I shot out this morning, I'm sure. Yeah, dude.
Tommy's does look like fucking shit.
It does. And they it's a little perverse the way they play into it, right?
Yeah, they totally do. Taco Bell does the same shit. Well, they used to do the same shit. They would play into the shit.
Like the
stuff.
Carl's Jr. porno ads where it's like, if it's not in your fucking face, then it's in your pussy.
Yeah, but and it's funny how, that was like and at the time, like you were watching it and you're like, this is gratuitous and this is like super sexist and like exploited, like it's exploitive. But it was also it was done in a way that was like, it was so over the top that it was tongue in cheek.
That's true. Yeah. It was pretty ridiculous.
Whereas like another episode that we're going to cover in the future here, just doubled down on their exploitive nature, and so not Dick Noggles. No, we're not talking about Dick Noggles. No.
So
Dick did not double down on any Dick. Dick was a serious man.
Dick Noggle is definitely like a British porn star. It has to be.
No, Dick Noggles, the guy who started Noggles.
I know, but it sounds like Noggles.
Well, you know what? Weirdly enough, he spent a lot of time in Europe. So
really?
Maybe he was a British porn star.
Wow, maybe.
Named Dick Noggle. Yeah.
Yeah, and then he decided he wanted to change up his life. Maybe that was his family business
He gave birth to Ramon, and then he just decided this was time to move
he's
forward.
Created a
monster.
Beast. Yeah.
Not even a monster. Shouldn't call Ramon, friend of the show, a monster.
Well, he was in Monster Cox, so yes.
Yeah.
But anyway, so about
1 through 8.
So So Pup and Taco just was bought out.
Pup and Taco was bought out. That was it. C'est la vie. They should totally bring it back. From the shit that I read about Pup and Taco, they should absolutely open up like 3 locations. They would do so good.
You do a great job with bringing all this information up, and I was thinking about this. What was the logo to Pup and Taco to describe to the listeners?
It was 2 giant hairy balls.
No, but seriously, wasn't it like a hot dog or what?
It was a hot dog and a taco. It was an anthropomorphic hot dog and a taco.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Pup and Taco. And there's this commercial where it's like a little choo-choo train. It's like Pup and Taco, Pup and Taco.
Oh, that's awesome.
And those their mascot was those 2 critters, and they would do the commercials. There's a few Pup and Taco commercials out there.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, animated.
Yeah, and I mean the fact that they just show the hot dog in the shell.
Yeah, man.
It was very sexual, But
sure.
They made a freak baby.
Fuck it. But I think that Pup and Taco would do really well. They should. So whoever has the trademark to that should totally team up with some investors and open up a location like in Pasadena somewhere.
Yeah,
it would do really good.
Yeah. I'm very excited for the next establishment because
Noggles.
So Noggles.
So
holy smokes.
Moving forward to Noggles. All right. So there was a lot more on Noggles. In fact, I did a really Dick Noggles, a pretty fascinating character, and he was an absolute character from what I've kind of come to read. He was a fucking hard ass.
Really?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I kind of love him. I really do. He seems awesome in his own weird way. Okay. So I got a lot of history on Noggles. Let's just go ahead and start this off. So Dick Noggle, the founder of Noggles, got to start setting up food service, prep, and delivery for the Army and Air Force for 20 years in Europe. And before moving back to the States, after moving back to the States, he continued his job doing all that food prep and food service for the military, and he set him up on military bases in 11 states. He met a dude and started a restaurant called Del Panther in Corona. He took everything he learned from that Del Panther, and he turned that place into an absolute powerhouse. I guess he did it was a drive up, and he made it used to stretch out onto the freeway, but he figured out a way to get everything going like super awesome. Well, there was a couple of dudes who were watching him. It was the creators of Del Taco.
Oh,
so
wow.
yeah, Ed, and I can't remember the other guy's name, but they don't fuck him. Del Taco, they really wanted him in there, so they got Dick Noggle into the fold. At Del Taco, he developed the dual kitchen concept and systems for Del Taco. They called it Ready Food Systems. They made that food systems business to basically franchise out Del Tacos. He very soon after dipped out of Del Taco in 1970 because of disagreements with the owners. Dick really knew exactly what he wanted to do and exactly how he was going to do it. Like, Dick was fucking determined, and he spent a lot of his life doing it for the military. So he, as he got older, really was like, okay, I got this all figured out. It took him a while, but he made it happen. So when he got bought out by the Del Taco bros, he took that money and he put it into his own spot on the corner of 14th and Brogden in Riverside. That first location of Noggles, it had been a bunch of different restaurants before Dick took over that lot. And I guess everybody thought it was going to be a huge failure. Dick did not give a fuck, and he was super determined to prove everybody wrong. Even though the location had a hospital and a college close by, it was strangely remote, and he had this big hope and idea that people were going to come up on horseback, because in Riverside there's a lot of it's desert.
Yeah.
So I guess it was also connected to some horse ranches and shit. So he saw it as this place where it was like, oh yeah, it'd be like there's cars coming in and people coming in and out, and there's gonna be horses.
Yeah. Wow.
So I guess he had, during the construction of this restaurant, apparently he had his hands in everything. I guess when they were doing construction, he would put a hard hat on and jump into the construction process. If he didn't like what was going on, he would tell you straight up. I guess after the restaurant opened, every single ingredient, every single day, he would taste. He was instrumental with he knew everything he wanted to do, whether it be replacing the microphones they used to just everything. Every little minutia of the business, Dick knew exactly how to implement it and was very, very strict. He had 3 principles. Noggles' motto was prepare fresh food, serve customers fast, and keep the place clean. And that was printed with a little picture of Dick Noggle on every receipt. So he was into it. He was obsessed with time and motion, and he would, between 11 and 2, Dick would study customers in his restaurant every day.
He sounds like just such his brain was crazy. It was on
Mach
fire. 10. Oh, you know what I mean? He was just all, that's brilliant.
Oh, yeah. He knew, and I think that in a lot of respects, probably Del Taco was his proving ground to see what was going to work. And I think that Ed wanted to change up different menus and do different menus for different cities. And Dick Noggle was like, you can't fucking do that. It's not going to work. We have to keep everything super standardized.
Yeah.
And so that way, if anything changes, we have to, and they were not feeling it at all, which Del Taco menus are they're very standardized except for 2 of the locations. So people credit Noggles with perfecting the drive-thru. He was putting through 3 cars a minute. And it was because of the way he would train customers. So he would jump. There was a 2-way mic, there's a 2-speaker thing. So I don't know if anybody has worked drive-thru. If you haven't worked drive-thru, there's these machines that you use. You press down the button and you speak through the microphone that you have on your face. So Dick had his own fucking button that if he didn't like the way, if people shut off their engines, if people were fucking off in the drive-in, like he would get pissed, and he would tell them like, have your money ready and don't turn off your car. And he would give people food, but tell them like, next time you come through my drive-through, do not fucking do this. And he kind of trained the customers to obey by his rules.
Yes, my ADD brain wants to go to a joke, but I don't know. Because you're talking about, them fucking off in the cars, like, and he said he's very, like, he wants to be involved in everything.
Yeah, he would just
like if there's a couple like having sex, he just comes in and he's like, let me show you how to do it.
No, he just grabs balls and licks balls. Just from behind. He was a behind guy. He's going from behind. Yeah. He had a very unorthodox process.
Okay,
let's just say.
Man, but he sounds so cool, like so invested.
Oh yeah, he was fucking there, and he was doing weird hiring practices too. Not like racist shit. He was expanding in places that normal people would not expand into, because he knew that there was like a bunch of military vets that were all retiring that lived in places like Yermo or Hesperia. Because there's a big military base out in the Mojave. Yeah. So there's all these military vets that are coming out and they're looking for jobs. So he knew that if he was hiring, ex-military, that they would be super used to systems. And
gotcha.
so he'd open up in these areas specifically so he could have managers that understood structure and time and all that shit. And even with like the kids that applied, he would do things like if a kid like handed in an application, he would throw it in the garbage. And if they came back and asked about it, then he would give them another one and he'd throw that one in the garbage. But they came back a third time, then he would interview them, just because he wanted to make sure that anybody that worked there was going to stick with him long term. He wanted people there for like 10, 15, 20 years. And he wanted to make sure that everybody that was hired was the right person for the team, and just kind of did a lot of vetting to weed out any bullshit.
That's so cool that it's just, I'm very fascinated with where it's going to go, because someone that is that involved in it, how does it just go away?
It didn't necessarily just go away. He was, the thing was about Dick is that he was getting up there in age when he opened up Naugles.
Yeah, okay.
So he was kind of an not elderly guy, but he was definitely getting older.
Yeah.
But he was moving super fast. So over 9 years, he opened up almost 200 stores.
Damn.
So that's a pretty good rate of expansion there. One of the loyal customers was a dude named Harold Butler. Harold used to roll through in his limo through the drive-thru and ask to talk to the owner. Dick would literally tell him to fuck off. He would tell him, like, get the fuck out of my drive-thru. Don't take your fucking limo through here.
Wait,
you're holding the fucking line. Get the fuck out of here. Told him to fuck off. Eventually, after this dude Harold coming through the line in his limo so many times, Dick finally hopped in the limo. It was the bang bus. So this guy Harold was the founder of Denny's.
Whoa. So the Denny's dude just rolled in an obnoxious limo all the time?
So he was a neighbor of the restaurant that Dick was always at. He had a place around the corner. And he saw what was going on over there, and he saw the potential what Noggles could be. He basically seduced Dick into selling the restaurant to him. He wined him and he dined him, and he kind of like filled his head with whatever he wanted him to believe. And in 1979, Harold Butler, the founder of Denny's, bought the 200 stores for, get this, $250,000 in 1979 for 200 stores. $250,000, not million, not $2 million, $250,000, a $250,000. But Dick Noggle didn't give a fuck about the money. It wasn't about that at all. For him, Dick wanted to be viewed as kind of like the Dave Thomas type of founder. He wanted to have the recognition for creating the concept of Noggles, and he knew at his age that he was not going to be able to keep this thing going like he wanted to, and he knew that the guy that would be able to bring Noggles to where Dick wanted it to be was Harold Butler. As far as him becoming that Dave Thomas type of character, after after he bought the company, it didn't really happen. But Butler built another 275 restaurants in 5 years.
Damn, dude. Wow.
So at this point, they had stores operating in Southern California, Nevada, Utah, St. Louis, Orlando, and Chicago. Butler then in '84 sold the company to a company called, I can't remember the name of the company, but they basically operated Sizzlers and KFCs. That company held on to it for only a couple of years and flipped it to a guy named Anwar Soliman. Soliman was also at the same time buying Del Taco. Over the next 7 years, Soliman and Del Taco either converted or sold all of the Noggles locations, with the last Noggles closing in Carson City in 1995. So slowly they just converted him to Del Taco or sold him off to another company.
And the parallel of Del Taco and Noggles is kind of a trip, huh?
Yeah, because he started off with Del Taco.
Yeah.
Del Taco got bought and sold, and then eventually that dude bought them both.
Wow.
And then just rolled them all into Del Tacos.
Damn.
I guess he thought that Del Taco was more marketable. I guess it kind of is, because it just seems like more like, even though it's not, like more authentic Mexican food. Whereas the name Noggles doesn't scream tacos.
No, it sounds like a Harry Potter thing.
Pretty much,
but it's a cool name.
Yeah. So Dick Noggle died in his adopted hometown of Riverside in 1998. 3 years before he saw all of his restaurants just go away. It says here he was married 7 times, but we all know that Dick Noggles' first love was his restaurant.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Dude, beautiful, man. That's a crazy story, dude.
Yeah.
And you don't hear like his story.
Dick Noggle was something else. There's a book about him.
Really?
Yeah, and I guess the book is pretty detailed, and he kind of goes into how hardcore of a dude his grandfather actually was.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Is it Noggle?
Somebody laughing. It's weird. It sounds like it's right there.
It's
somebody is
almost
outside.
creepy.
Yeah.
Is that the ghost of
Dick Noggle?
Yeah, or is that Ramon out there?
It's Ramon.
Yeah, is he showing someone something?
Yeah.
Okay.
He got out of the limo with Harold.
Dude, so don't mind. It's Halloween,
Denny's,
guys.
Dude.
There's
fucking
Denny's.
What the fuck? I did not know that happened at all.
I love how since we've done fast food, there's been a lot of parallels.
Yeah, there's a lot of parallels, and fucking we ain't done with Denny's, dude. Denny's is gonna come up in another episode in the Dead series, and Denny's has come up a few times. We did Denny's.
Yeah, that's so weird, dude.
Yeah, Denny's comes up again.
Noggles and Denny's had a tie-in.
Yeah, they did.
But it's a very fascinating. Both of those stories are very interesting because it's not like they were like really rocky. Like they both had the trajectory to be these great things.
Yeah,
and they were for when they were around.
Totally. I feel like if somebody would have taken over Pup and Taco, and they wouldn't have sold to Taco Bell, if somebody that actually wanted to continue that chain, I feel like there'd still be 40 or 50 Pup and Tacos. It would be like a weird little chain that you'd be like, oh yeah. Foster's, like Foster's is now kind of like, there's only 60 left.
Yeah.
But it's like this weird little chain that exists. I feel like Pup and Taco would be the same way.
Yeah, there's an alternate universe where those things exist alongside KFC and all those things.
The Colonel.
Yeah, and Taco Bell.
Man, I cannot fucking wait for the next episode that we're going to do next week. Oh boy,
yeah, guys.
It's a butthole clencher.
But I've been very excited about this,
brother. We ain't even done.
Yes,
with Noggles, man.
Yes, that's what I was getting at. There's more to the story.
No, yeah, totally. There was. So in August 2006, there was a food blogger named Christian Zybarth, and he made a post in remembrance of Noggles. Apparently, there was such an outpouring of support and admiration for Noggles that he looked in to see what the copyrights were looking like. Well, Del Taco they weren't going to renew any of the copyrights for Noggles. So this dude, along with another guy named Josh Maxwell and Dan Dvorak, they opened up 3 Noggles restaurants using basically the same menu and the same recipes as the original Noggles.
Yeah, and I remember hearing about this. This was the first time I heard about Noggles. It was on the news. When was that?
I think it was 2015 is when they first opened up.
Yeah, because it was... Yeah, but so the guy who posted it, you think that had anything to do with the
He's the president of the company.
Wow.
So now the Noggles company is the president of the company is that guy.
Yeah. That's so cool.
Christian, yeah.
That's so cool,
yeah,
man.
so now he's the head of Noggles.
Robertland Pup and Taco, dude.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, we need...
dude, that'd be so sick.
The Ramon special.
Exactly, man. Yeah.
Yeah, that's... no, that's really crazy, man. That's so cool. So where are the locations now?
So the locations are in Huntington Beach, Fountain Valley, and Stanton.
We've been in those areas a lot.
They look sick too,
dude. Me and you need to go, and we should do a video of Noggles.
Oh yeah,
and Hans.
Yeah, we'll do Hans.
They're in Huntington Beach, right?
We gotta do. Yeah, they are. But we also have to go to. We have to find an old Pup and Taco. Because they had a specific A-frame building to them.
So you can identify the Taco Bells that used to be Pup and Tacos.
Well, they most of them have been demolished. So where there's Taco Bells, those have been demolished. But where they didn't build Taco Bells, some of those places continued on. I think there was one, I can't remember what city, but it was called like Getting High on Thai. It was like it was a Thai food restaurant, or Eatin' High. Yeah, Eatin' High on with Thai or something like that. But it was a Thai food restaurant that operated an old Pup and Taco building. And I don't know if it's still there now, but there's got to be an old Pup and Taco restaurant with that A-frame somewhere. Because you see a lot of those old 50s diners still up in around LA.
Yeah, that'd be interesting to find.
Fuck yeah, it would be.
But
we have to go to a Noggles. It's
that was like us going to Mayan ruins, or
totally.
We want to seek out the Pup and Taco temple.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I'm all about that. That's so cool.
And Noggles, we gotta go. We have to go to Noggles.
It looks great too.
They got ice cream there too.
Do they?
They got shakes and shit.
Dude, why don't they have that more at Mexican food places?
I don't know,
ice cream? Yeah. There's a fried ice cream I've had at a Mexican food place, and it was like the best thing ever.
Where they put it in like a flour tortilla and roll it in cinnamon sugar?
Yes.
Yeah, dude.
Oh, my God. I haven't had that in a long time. But, yeah, Pup and Taco, Noggles, holy smokes. What stories, dude.
Someone should totally open up a Pup and Taco, though. That would be so sick.
Yeah, I'm so down, dude. That was my penis, by the way.
Oh,
yeah. No, that was Ramon. He's
I was thinking that when I saw that Noggles was open, their branding is so clean and their restaurants look so cool. I was thinking that it was owned by Del Taco still, and they were just experimenting with the name and doing like 3 Noggles locations for some reason.
Yeah,
but that wasn't the case at all. It was, and I guess that Del Taco actually they just fucked up and forgot. Apparently,
did they try to do anything to them?
They tried to. It went to court. I didn't look too further into the court case because sometimes when you open up court documents, they're worded strange, and I had
it's like
so
Old
much
English or something.
Yeah, they're kind of, man. I had so much ground to cover with Sambo's and with finding more history on Pup and Taco because it was so hard to track down their history, and I try to utilize a lot of like old blogs and stuff from like Web 1.0.
Yeah.
And there's some good stuff out there, and that's where I'm finding like the best information.
I mean, dude, they have such wild stories, those two places.
Well, I was lucky too to find and I pulled a lot of the information of Noggles from an interview that was done with the grandson of Dick. Yeah, and he had really cool like stories about his grandfather, and he censored himself pretty well on there, so he couldn't really say a lot of shit on there, but it was really, really informative about Dick Noggle and how hardcore he was.
So right now, Noggles, you can go to a Noggles.
You can go to a Noggles, yeah.
Wow.
One of 3 locations, and it's basically the same as what it once was, which is so fucking cool.
So we can go have what Dick Noggle made.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
And it's funny how it's sad that it completely died before he did.
Yeah, he didn't get to see the resurgence of the...
No, and like, or just like it hanging on, even if...
Yeah.
I feel like even if there was like 7 or 8 or 10 Noggles still around that, somebody was keeping, around.
Right, yeah.
Like the hat, again, I mean, just like, it would be so cool to see your like little baby just still flourishing,
Yeah.
Because you'll find old taco places just like Noggles, just around in both LA County and Orange County and Riverside County, Ventura County. You'll find these places like Taco Treat, that's outside of Anaheim. I can't remember exactly city it's in, but that's like one of those places that just served that classic Taco Bell hard shell taco that with the beef and the cheese and all smashed in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, we have to go there. We have to go to Naugles.
Yeah, we do, man. Yeah,
sure.
This has been
I'm glad that
amazing.
I'm glad that you mentioned Noggles.
Yeah.
And I'm also glad that my client Adrian mentioned Pup and Taco. Because he was the one that told me to do Pup and Taco a long time ago. I mean, I think that we were kind of playing with the idea of doing fast food joints.
Yeah.
And I rolled it by Adrian because Adrian's one of the most brilliant people that I've ever met. And he was like, Pup and Taco. That was like one of the first things that I wrote down was Pup and Taco because I had never fucking heard of it. And he was like, oh, they were everywhere. So
I wonder if there was a bunch where you grew up, like up north.
There was none.
Oh, they never got up
No,
there?
man.
What about Noggles?
No.
Noggles is all like...
Not that I knew of. I mean, I was an 82 birthday.
Yeah.
So Noggles was basically on their way down in 84. So I don't remember.
Yeah, if there was one.
No, in my hometown or in my county, there was A&W, like the ones that are gone. A&W, which actually moved across the street over into the KFC and all that shit. There was an A&W. There was a Sonic Drive-In. There was...
You guys had a Sonic?
We had a Sonic, yeah. There was
Dude,
Sonic.
that was probably before a lot of people in California.
Yeah, it was the only one.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. There was a Jack in the Crack. Obviously, Burger King, McDonald's, KFC. There was a Long John Silver's.
Yeah.
That Long John Silver's, when they merged into Yum Brands, that Long John Silver's got bought... that got demolished and turned into a Taco Bell. That was modeled to look like some of the Mission-style buildings in that little area. So that Taco Bell is actually a really cool looking Taco Bell.
Oh, wow.
It doesn't look like your new ones that are just like standard brown and beige. I mean, It is brown and beige, but it's done with the Spanish style roofs and like the cool little Spanish architecture.
That's so cool.
But I don't know where I was going with that.
Dude,
but there was no Noggles, nothing like that.
Oh man, yeah.
Oh, there was a Foster's in my
Yeah.
hometown. Foster's was good. The Foster's are cool.
Yeah, dude. Just it's so cool, man, that we're doing this, and I
dude.
can't. This has been such a cool episode. It's just all that stuff is
man.
real neato, man. But
Yeah.
I'm excited for us to go to Noggles, and yeah, if you guys are inspired, check it out.
Well, no,
Go
before
to
we do that,
Noggles.
this is a versus episode. So knowing what we know about Pup and Taco and knowing what we know about Noggles and what they served, Robert, where would you go?
Like out of the two that you told me,
Pup and Taco or Noggles, where would you go?
I think Noggles.
What would you rather have? Noggles?
Because of the his story and his drive.
Sure.
Is interesting. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? To where I'm he seemed really particular and had a vision.
Right.
You know what I mean? Pup and Taco as well, though. Pup and Taco too, because they had pastrami. I want to try the pastrami. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
I would say Pup and Taco for me specifically because from everything that I read about Pup and Taco, it was weird, man. There was this super warm feeling with all of the things that I read about it. It was very, very strange.
Yeah.
There was one website I can actually, if you're curious about to see and read more about Pup and Taco.
BUTTMAC.
Yeah.
Butt machine.
Yeah.
Boys.
It's RogerWendell.com, and Wendell is WENDALL. RogerWendell.com.
For Pup and Taco.
For Pup and Taco, yeah. It's a cool message board where people, I don't know if it's a message board or if people are sending them emails of either customers or people that work there. And there's people that posted pictures of themselves eating Pup and Taco from the 70s.
Dude.
It's a really cool website.
That's cool.
That's that's before Wikipedia just became the garbage site where we all grab information from. All those little sites were so much better and well curated. I got a lot of stuff from Clifton's Cafeteria from one of those old sites.
Like a GeoCities.
Yeah, man, it was weird. It was somebody that had broke down the history of the Clinton family, the Clifford Clinton family, the Clifton's Cafeteria family.
Not Hillary.
Yeah, I'll tell
lock
you what,
her up.
Bail.
Yeah, no, but so man. So okay, I chose Noggles. You chose
I'm saying
Pup and Taco.
Yeah. Just because of what I read, dude. Dick, we can go to Noggles, thankfully. And I would, but it's I would like to see what a Pup and Taco would be. I would like to see what that grape, even though I don't like it, what a grape slush would taste like at Pup and Taco, and what their taco would be, and what their hot dog would be. I'm not really a hot dog guy, but it'd be fun.
Yeah. Well, in this reality of like it being there a Noggles.
Yeah.
I would choose Pup and Taco because it doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist, yeah.
Yeah, so, yeah.
But at the same time, I think between the two, even though Naugles has ice cream, I'm still taking Pup and Taco just specifically for what I read.
Slushy.
It seemed so cool the way people were describing like the working conditions and how the family was cool, and it's like just low key.
It was probably to work for them more enjoyable than Noggles because he had such like a.
I didn't read anything terrible about Naugles either.
Oh, then maybe
everything that I read about that was like he was putting together a really solid team everywhere he went.
Yeah. Well, he put a lot of thought behind all that. So yeah, that's crazy, man. This has been such a cool episode, and
it's a trip, man. I learned a lot from this episode.
Yeah,
not as much as I learned from the next episode, which is going to be about Sambos. If you don't know what Sambos is, it's we're not talking about the derogatory term that was used. To belittle African or Black Americans. We're talking about Sambo's, the restaurant where you got Sambo's pancakes and tiger butter.
Wow, so that's next week, guys.
It's
for the Dead
a
series.
Fucking doozy, and I'm so glad that it changed it. Reading about Sambo's changed my thoughts and opinions about a lot of things in my life.
I don't know if I'm ready for this.
It's a lot, dude.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, Sambo's is not going to be your feel-good episode, unfortunately. As much as it's a feel-good place for a lot of people that went there. Including myself. But I will say, already, right now, as we speak, this Sambo's is coming next week, and I will say that researching Sambo's, I took down the video that I made a long time ago at Sambo's, which showcased a lot of the last location, and I took it down. And I don't take down a lot of videos at all, but I took it down. And it was like one of the only videos that people really enjoyed that I did. Because I've been doing YouTube videos on and off for the last like 7 years. And the previous iteration of my channel, I was going to places, American diners like Sambo's, and I was documenting what that looked like because all of my favorite YouTubers like Adam and shit, they all go to these places and document what that is at that moment in time. So
we're going to find out why you did away with it. Man, well, yeah, you guys are in for a treat.
Stay tuned.
Yeah,
I guess it's a treat if you're interested in some fucking...
In Guy We Trust.